Hey YouTubers, Spacep0d here. How you doing? How you doing? It's been a while since I've been able to ride, and so I'm heading for my normal roads that I ride. I know, it's not always exciting for the viewer if you've seen me on these roads, but I need to just get a quick and dirty nearby excursion into some twisties. Here's a topic for you. Do loud pipes save lives? Well, do they? Short answer, yes they do. Long answer, incoming. Alright, humans are mammals, mammals can hear. Why do mammals hear? It's an evolutionary adaptation which benefited the individual and led to survival of the fittest. Being able to hear is a type of fitness. If you can hear something, you can assess what to do about it. Nothing, fight, run, etc. So humans can hear. Now, the whirring of a computer, not a big deal, not going to get your attention. If you're in a cage, a car, and you hear a motorcycle, well, you have information. You have the sound of the motorcycle, you have the RPM, you can know what type of bike it is. Potato. Is it a potato Harley? Is it a Ducati? Is it, maybe if you're not knowledgeable about bikes, maybe you know it's a sport bike or a cruiser. Okay, so the sound of a motorcycle, given that motorcycles aren't as common as cagers, it's a novel sound, it's a new and unique novel sound, and it conveys information. What's the information? This is a motorcycle. They move faster than I do. They can lane split. I need to pay attention to what they're doing because they're going to be in and out. They might be zipping by me. They're more vulnerable. Maybe you're a rider and you pay attention to that kind of thing. But the fact is, it's information. Just like a dog's bark, a cat's meow, the roar of a lion, the hiss of a snake, etc. Now, with that new information, you have now heard that motorcyclist. Now, if the motorcyclist has louder pipes, you're going to hear him or her better. That's just the reality. There's sound travels omnidirectionally, meaning in all directions, and the sound of a motorcycle with an exhaust on it, an aftermarket exhaust that's louder ostensibly, is going to get your attention better. And sound travels omnidirectionally. Now, the mistake a lot of people make is they say that it's not perfectly effective, but nobody's claiming that. All we're saying is that the bike is louder in all directions, mitigated by the distractions of the driver and the installation of the car, whether the windows are down or up, the speed of the two different vehicles, etc. The duration of time spent next to the person, the observer, etc. This is not an argument defending obnoxiously loud pipes or recommending it. I'm simply talking about stimulus, noise stimulus. A silent car, an electric car maybe, that is near silent, is going to be less noticeable, which is why some of them have artificial noisemakers installed. A large truck backing up, can't see very well. Holy shit, you're slow. So a lot of them have beepers installed. And the beepers are there for safety, so that the person can self-identify the threat and get out of the way, or a parent can see that a truck is backing up and get the child out of the way, whatever it is. There's a reason for that. There's a reason bikes and cars have horns. Bikes and cars have horns as a signal, sometimes a punishment, to let people know that you're there. Signal your presence. Sometimes it's punitive. The fact is, they're there for a reason. They're there to make noise, and people hear that noise in most cases. Now, sometimes people don't always hear the noise, and some people argue that that's why loud pipes don't save lives. Some people don't always see you, and yet, those are licensed drivers who have passed a vision test. They don't see you because their focus is sometimes distracted in other ways. Maybe they're on a cell phone, maybe they're looking somewhere else, maybe there's a bigger threat somewhere else, whatever it is. Maybe you're just going too fast and you've outridden the person's ability to see. That does happen. So that part of that is situational awareness, not just from the cager, but from you as the rider. You don't want to outride the person, the ability to see of the people around you. And you don't want to outride your own ability to see, mostly at night. But also in the daytime. Maybe you can't process a fast road on that new bike right away and you're not used to it. Go slower, get used to it, get your vision adjusted, and there you go. A MotoGP racer has vision very finely adjusted for going fast. So if they go the speed I'm going, this would feel like they're crawling. So sometimes drivers don't see you, sometimes they don't hear you, but that doesn't mean loud pipes aren't more noticeable, and it only takes one time to save your life. It only takes one driver one time to notice you when he or she otherwise would not notice you and would kill you possibly to save your life. So the person saying loud pipes save lives only needs to be right one time, and the statement becomes a true statement. Thanks. The person who says that is a false statement needs to be right every time. Now, the ruse I often hear is that people are like, well, sound doesn't travel well in front of you. Well, it does travel in front of you. That's why we have the Doppler shift, Doppler effect. If a speeding car is coming at you, or a speeding bike, and it's loud, you're going to have a compression of sound waves. It's going to sound like, and then as it passes you, those sound waves lengthen out. That is Doppler shift, or the Doppler effect. Sound waves are being compressed as it comes toward you, and you do hear it. Sound waves are lengthened as it travels away from you, and the pitch changes, but you do hear it in both directions. Secondarily, there are ideal conditions where a loud pipe is ideally suited to letting someone know you're there. For instance, you're making a left turn. It's a double left turn lane. You got a cager to your right on your pipe side. They got their window down, the stereo's not on, and they are listening and paying attention. That person knows you're there. There are times when it's less ideal, but that doesn't matter because it's ideal enough to save your life, enough to be true. So if you're lane splitting, your revs might be low, whatever, but then the risk isn't quite so great. Someone ambling in front of you at 10 miles an hour as you lane split is a different story than someone cutting you off when you're going 60 through an intersection. And you should probably be going slower than that, but there you have it. So, loud pipes do save lives. Humans can hear because of evolutionary adaptation. Hearing is part of how we detect threats. Bikes are a novelty and a threat. Both of those will get the attention of a cager, most cagers, and yes, a loud pipe can and will save your life. How do you measure such a thing? It's not easy. It can't really easily be done. You can't prove that my life was saved on X date because a cager didn't pull in front of me. But every single day, you rely on cagers not to rear-end you, and that's because of vision. And so, is it true that loud colors save lives? Well, it only needs to be true one time. If it's true one time, it is a true statement. So, neon green, or neon vests, as are required by military, by riders in the military in the USA. Well, the reason they're forced to wear those vests is because it can and does save a life. A sniper doesn't wear neon-colored vests because a sniper would be seen if he or she did that. So what does a sniper do? They try to camouflage themselves, and they combine that with a lack of motion, because humans see both patterns and motion. Not as well as a cat, but better than some other animals. Cats see motion amazingly well, and so do some raptors, like a hawk. So our eyesight's pretty good, not as good as a squid, not as good as a cat in some areas for motion, but humans can definitely recognize a pattern. Even the pilots in WW2, they were able to recognize the silhouettes of enemy fighter jets and bombers. Even that little bit of recognition was enough to tell them sometimes whether it was an enemy or not. And they would study those silhouettes so they would get to know them better. So, snipers don't wear neon for a reason. Now, if you do wear neon, you're going to be better seen. Not perfectly seen, but better seen enough where that will save your life. It only needs to save your life one time for the statement to be true. Loud colors save lives. Loud pipes save lives. If you're going to argue against the idea that loud pipes save lives, you should also argue against the idea that loud colors save lives, and you'd be wrong on both counts. Alright, that was that. This is Spacep0d signing out, and thanks for watching. If you want your own Spacep0d sticker, visit www.spacep0d.com with a 0, remember. If you want your own art and decals, I do both of those in-house. I do art full-time. Email me, spacep0d@spacep0d.com, mind the 0. Thanks for watching, thanks for the subs. I just passed over the 15,000 mark for subs and 1.3 million views plus, and I really appreciate it. As I always say, without viewers, I'm just a guy in a spacesuit talking to myself, and that's a little crazy. Alright, YouTubies, thanks so much again, and until next time, Spacep0d out.